back at home now in front of our fans, coming off 2 wins. It'll be loud. It'll be fun.
We've got a lot of weapons. This is a talented unit. Don't kid yourself, because this unit has got plenty of firepower over there.
Picked off. Breaks with the interception.
Week after week, this guy is coming up with plays. What a player Brian Branch is turning out to be.
David Montgomery, touchdown, Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery, are you kidding me?
Dancing his way to the end zone.
Jared Goff leads the way. Goff with a dart, touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Aliens in here. He'll decide. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, everybody. I'm kidding on that one.
Can you read? Maybe. Do you think they can figure out what I said there? No.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. But yeah, John Effing Lord, I am reading the chat. MJ says I can't read lips this fast, so maybe we need to slow it down a little bit. So we're good?
All
okay.
right. Hopefully you got that.
So, all right. Well, hey, let's re-rack then, everyone. Everybody gets it. You get a mulligan. You get a little breakfast ball out on the golf course, right? All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to the Woodward Sports pregame show. We're live at Second Best on 42 Watson Street in downtown Detroit, just a couple of blocks away from LCA. We're right in the guts of downtown, brought to you by New Holland Brewing Company. Of course, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Sabbath Coffee Roasters. They brought the Sabbath Coffee out as well, and we're going to mix them all together at some point. Sean Belizean. My name is Neil Rule. We got JB Smoove in the house. Pete Spivak is out here as well. But yeah, Sean, you know how it works down here. Crowd will make their way in here. We'll get ready to go. Lions, Titans. Hey, it's time to beat this team, right?
No, that's exactly it. For whatever reason, the Tennessee Titans own the Detroit Lions, like literally own the Detroit Lions. So we got to make that change. I'll echo what you said. I mean, look outside. It is an absolutely beautiful day out there where we're looking to the north, not a cloud in the sky, nothing but blue skies. So if you're coming down to the game, make us part of your hangout spot. This is a great spot. It's the second best bar, and it's second best in name only, really. This is an outstanding bar. We'd love to see you down here.
Ain't nothing second best about the chicken sandwich here. That is for sure. The staff's on top of it. Good people out here all the time. Freddie Felt 313. Sean is looking extra chipper after his international Hooters adventure. And real quick, Sean, as the people still matriculate into the show, you put up all these pictures of the mountains, all this stuff. I didn't give a shit about any of that. I want pictures of the Hooters. The only Hooters in Switzerland, you were there.
on. Like, it just in the middle of this little city, there's a Hooters. I'm walking down the street. I'm looking at the snow-capped mountains, and I'm like, I know that smell. That smells like Hooters. And it was, honestly, it was, and of course, it was packed. But, no, that was hysterical. I had to get a picture of it. And it was funny, Neil. I got to tell all you guys, and Pete, you'll appreciate this. I watched the Lions-Vikings game on I don't even know, NFL Europe or whatever it was called.
Yes.
With these German guys. And it like the guy calling the game sounded like angry Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I couldn't understand anything. It was, get to the chopper, Jared Goff und Lions. Like that. It was like, dude, stop yelling at me. I didn't do anything. But, no, it was really cool to watch that, and especially to beat the Vikings. That was really cool.
All right, so let's get into it, everybody. It is time to check the vibes. That's right. And Sean, look, we'll get into the Wayback Machine. There are no victories over the Titans in this franchise's history to speak of, so I'm going to, when we go to the way back, I'm going to pick out one of the most despicable. Sorry, Sean. It can't just be all Camp Happy Times over here to steal one of your phrases. But we're going to get into that. Pete Spivak has your same-game parlay / fantasy, all your degeneracy in general. Pete Spivak will be there. Sean and I have some picks that we will give you also. We'll break down Sean's matchup. And look, we'll just get into this. But, Sean, just 30,000 feet. The game against Minnesota, for me, Sean, showed me that we have a little ways to go yet in being fans of a good team, i.e., this will be a big step here today, Sean, because I don't care how it happens. I don't. And KG, we talked about it on Big D Energy, 11-1, shout out on Woodward Sports Network. KG said, I want some style points and stuff like that, and I said, no. Sean, when you're a good team, the only thing on my mind is getting to 6-1. If it takes a last-second field goal to do it, I don't care. I will get my win. I will move on. I will be logging off, so to speak, the minute-by-minute reactionary, emotional roller coaster Lions fan stuff, Sean. When you got to get in the mindset of having a Super Bowl contending team, your wins don't matter. Am I warm on this? Am I right?
Spot on, dude. Spot on. And you know what? I would tell everybody out there, look no further than the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, how many times have we heard it in the last couple of years? What's wrong with Patrick Mahomes? What's wrong with that offense? That defense isn't good. They don't look impressive. They go about their business, and they keep winning. The way people are talking about the Chiefs right now, I almost want to go back and relook at the record and make sure that they're not the only unbeaten team in the National Football League. Because people seem to be dogging this team left and right. I don't care how it happens. I always use the line, give me a win. I don't care if it isn't pretty. You're not hanging these football games in the Louvre. They're not going into some art gallery. We're not going to put it up in the DIA. Win the frickin' game. Really, that's what it comes down to.
It doesn't matter how.
Dude, you are spot on. I could give two craps about style points right now. You know what I know? And if you don't know this yet, you're lying to yourself. The Lions have a damn good team, and a team that finds a way to win. I will take this over all the teachable moments and learning lessons through losses over the years. No, thank you. I will take this every day of the year. So I couldn't agree with you more, man. It's a different thing now. Let's embrace it.
And that's it. And the Chiefs, again, Sean, I envy them, certainly. We all envy the Kansas City Chiefs and what they have going on. But I learn from them as well. I never see on social media or hear viral clips about Chiefs fans freaking out about a loss. They were 11-6 last year. They were 11-6, and was there really ever a doubt that if you had to bet your mortgage payment, you never would have bet against them at any point in the playoffs? That's just the way that it works. And Sean, I think that Jared Goff has brought that element to this team. The game against the Vikings, Sean, when he got the football, I never for a second did I think they weren't going to win that football game. Never for a second. That's how I know that I've arrived. As I can be a fan of a good team, Sean, I was proud of myself because I'm in now. You know what I'm saying?
To me, The question was late in that game, okay, are the Lions going to score a touchdown or are they going to get a field goal? It's so weird. There were two options, and there was no option that had the Lions losing that game. And that was the cool thing about that. And you know what, Neil? But to that point, you have to remember where you came from. And now we've all learned a valuable lesson. You can't just say it's going to happen and poof, it's going to happen. You have to earn that. And this Lions team has earned that over the last couple of years. Jared Goff has earned that over the last couple of years. So, to me, that's not just something.
Somebody say Jared Goff?
Say his name and he appears. Say his name
Poof,
and stick appears.
And stick shall appear. It's like Candyman. And you don't have to say Jared Goff 5 times. You just say it, and there he is. But no, and here, you have to earn it. Because, I mean, one thing that has frustrated me in the time of being in this business, because you and I think are alike in the regard that we're both fans, but we also know we have a job to do.
Correct.
And I'm not going to sit back and say, well, I like the Lions today just because. And the Lions are due today. What the hell does that mean, right? They're due, right? You have to earn that kind of respect. And I think the Lions have earned that kind of respect. And there's a confidence now where I think for many years, especially some of the older guys, you were almost waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't feel that way anymore. Now it's, well, how are they going to win the game? Is Goff going to throw a touchdown? Are they going to pound it in from the 2? Are they going to kick a field goal? So that's where I'm at with this team. And today, and more on this in a second, you know, I know that I have the matchup to look at. I kind of feel like Rocky. Maybe it's you against you, right? Maybe it's you against you.
Well, I can change. Woodward Sports chat thread. All right, I'm trying to decide how I want to play this because there are some people in the chat. All right, here's how I'm doing this.
All right.
The Viking is in the chat. Just says
Hi,
skull.
Viking.
Just says skull. Jeffrey in the chat. A fake punt on the own side of your field isn't winning team plays. Jeffrey. Okay, you know what? I'll take the bait. Jeffrey, I'll take the bait. Salith, the Viking, or whatever you are. Okay, I'll take the bait. You guys lost 2 games in 72 hours. It's over for you. You're 3-1. It's over, Sean. No, Sean. Just like that, it's over. It is. The Lions have the stranglehold on this division. And I'll bring this into what we're talking about here against Tennessee. If you want like this nuanced Tennessee Titans breakdown, you're not getting it from me because I don't give a shit because they're irrelevant to me. You beat them, you move on. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't care how it happens. I'm triggered, you can tell already. Mm-hmm. Somebody get me some alcohol now. No, but
or
anyway.
A chicken sandwich.
No, but Sean, but seriously though, that's how quickly things change. The Vikings went from the division favorite to 3-1 to win the division from Sunday to Thursday. It was over. Absolutely over. When the Lions win this game today, they're 6-1, and I'll tie this into what I'm talking about. You talk about a fake punt on your own side of the field isn't winning team plays. Really, who won that game, Jeffrey? Who won that game? And everybody loves it. And I saw people, and this is my overriding point about what we were talking about earlier, Sean, is that I'm prepared to deal with that. That's how this guy rolls. It's worked. That's why we're a good team, because we do shit like that. And you might not like it in the moment, but guess what? It works.
You know, most importantly, you know who loves it? The guys in that locker room.
Thank you.
They love it. And let me tell you, and do you know why Dan Campbell is so beloved? Because every guy in that locker room knows for a fact that he believes in them. Why else would he do some of the things he does, right? No, I'm not going to sit here and say that every move was right. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit up there and say that, you know, oh, yes, greatest coach, and I agree with everything he does because that's moronic. But take a deeper look at this. Those guys in the room know he has trust in them, Neil. And because he has trust in them, he's not afraid to throw this guy into the fray or have a fake punt here or roll with this or roll with that. And that's part of what has changed the culture here. And I need to remind you guys, okay? I need to remind you guys. And remember, I'm the guy that said you look legitimate. And I still think you're a playoff team, okay? You better be. But with that being said, Neil, didn't we hear a lot of people just a couple weeks ago saying, Well, that's it. The Lions can't catch the Vikings now.
You and I had these discussions.
We giggled about it on this very show. Trust me, there were people in Detroit that said that shit. I mean, really. Am I allowed?
Yeah.
Shit. There are people in this town that were saying that. Well, okay, well, I guess we're going to have to be the wild card. And I'm sitting there going, wait a second. Time out. Vikings are 5-0. The Lions are 3-1. When, not if, the Lions go down to Dallas and beat the shit out of Dallas, then we play head-to-head. And if we win that game, we're in first place. But again, these people that talk in absolutes in week 5 of the season, come on, how'd that work out for you, princess? Like, come on, right? So relax, calm down. Things are as they are supposed to be right now.
No, and that's absolutely it. And it plays, I'll circle it back. It plays into this. You beat the Titans today, you're 6-1, and guess what, Sean? They're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions, after they win today, will be in the playoffs unofficially, officially. They'd be 6-1, and they're in. And now you see how things start to compress, Sean. When you're a good football team, when you have championship aspirations, things become business-like. Today, over there, a couple blocks from here at Second Best, it's a business setup, right? It's a business meeting. You get what you want out of the negotiations, and then you keep it pushing. They'll be 6-1. They'll be in the playoffs. And you know what, Sean? If you want to talk about progress, I think the Lions at 6-1, you can even drop the ifs. Remember when we talk about it when the season starts? Well, if catastrophe happens, then, all bets are off. You're 6-1. You have the talent in that locker room to be in the playoffs no matter what.
Yeah, and I think both those teams, getting back to the Vikings, I think both those teams are in that water right now. And what I mean by that is you have 10 games left. Merely go 5-5. 10-7 probably going to get you in. Not necessarily, but it's probably going to get you in. For the Lions, Neil, 5-5, you're absolutely right. You just merely go 500. And I told you, I might be in the minority. I don't give a crap. Of course, I'd rather have home field advantage throughout. Get back to the playoffs. Now, all of a sudden, the Lions are a team that have been there and done that. Now, all of a sudden, they're a team. They don't have to learn how to win in January. They've already done it. And that comes with a different set of circumstances and expectations. So, to me, Neil, yes, of course, I'll say it again. Go 13-4. Go 14-3. Run away with not just this division, but the entire NFC. To me, where we'll remember this team is not from the regular season, but what they do in the playoffs. So I couldn't give two craps if they go 11-6. Go win 3 playoff games and get your ass to the Super Bowl.
The Vikings fans, they stay in this. They stay on this show.
Good for them.
They stay on Woodward Sports.
Good for them.
They do.
Good for them. Rent-free.
The Viking, what this man said about my quarterback, Sam Darnold, got me pissed. Well, he took 2 L's in 72 hours. Like, that's what happened. And was he the problem? Not per se, but he was affiliated with it. 20 points, man. It's not going to get you wins in the NFL. It's just not. KMG King, they won't make the playoffs after going 5-0 again. Only one team in the NFL has that on their resume. That is the Minnesota Vikings.
Could you imagine that, dude?
Oh, I could.
Could you imagine that? Like, you're 5-0 and you don't make the playoff? Holy
that would be
crap.
wild. It would be absolutely wild.
Again, do the logic. 5-0, you have 12 games left. Just go 500, right? Just go 500. You're in. That's 11 wins.
Yeah. No, it is. But no, Sean, I mean, again, just getting back to it, and we'll get to your matchup to watch, like what you're going to be watching for and things like that. It is tough. Like, am I going to sit here and tell you, I'm not one of these 47-7 Lions people. You only get 10 to 12 possessions in a football game.
I don't think he does that.
Yeah, like that's tough. That's a tough ask right there to do that. And look, it is. It's just one of those games. There are 4 schedule wins. This is a schedule win for the Lions. You pick it up and you move on. Sean, I don't have a lot for you in terms of nuanced breakdown. I just don't.
Isn't it wonderful, though? Yeah, seriously, because can I tell you why? How many times have we been on the other side of this? Where we sat back on.
Well, hey, we're going to give you one later on in the flashback.
Holy Lord, my gosh, we're playing the Patriots today. And then, you know what the problem is? You have to deal with those slapdicks that go, any given Sunday, and it's like, shut the with that. Like, stop it. You know, when you're doing your pregame shows, whether here on Woodward or wherever else, you have to deal with those morons that, you know, always played the Bright Side of Life song as their theme song in their head. Now, it's not going to happen. You know, you mentioned a business meeting. To me, this is like the Zoom meeting where I'm sitting in my house. Okay, I look like this, but what you can't see is I have no pants on. I seriously, there is not a touch of garment on right now. Mr. Happy is just sitting there, and you know what else you can't see? Because I'm hiding it in the back. I'm hiding it in the back of my mouth. I got a big fat dip packed. So while I look, Mr. Happy and Mr. Dip, right? No, but I said dip.
We got a big pause on this one.
D-I-P.
Drinks.
No, but Neil, like honestly, it's one of those Zoom business meetings. So I'm kind of tilting my head so you can't see that I got my dip. And every few minutes I act like I'm like reaching down to get something, and I'm bending down to spit so you can't all see that I got the big fat dip, D-I-P, in my mouth. That's what today is. It's a Zoom meeting at home. And like I'm acting like like seriously. I am acting. I'm acting like I'm paying attention to Stick, right? But Stick knows me well enough. He's looking at me in the Zoom meeting going, look at that lazy Pelagian with his dip. Dip. I'm going to pop my peas big time. All right.
There's really nowhere to go.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Sean Pelagian for dip.
There's really nowhere to go.
Well, there's a big dip in the quarterbacks for the Tennessee Titans.
There absolutely is. No, but again, Sean, this is my whole thing with like Minnesota and where I got into trouble with Vikings fans. The Titans thing, this is a quarterback league, man. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a shot. I guess instead of breaking down Mason Rudolph, right? I mean, come on. Instead of breaking down Mason Rudolph, I'll ask you the question I asked people on Big D Energy on Friday. Just the Tennessee Titans as a whole. What happened? It wasn't long ago. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. Oh, yes. New Holland's taller. The Dutch long drink. I don't know if the social team saw. I was getting ready for the Michigan State game yesterday. I pulled the last one of these off the rack at Meyer. They were all gone, except for the one I got. But anyway, though, what happened to the Titans, Sean? Is it as simple as this is a quarterback league?
Yeah, I think
and Tannehill wasn't, like, great, but good enough? I don't know. You tell me.
It hasn't that kind of been the story with the Titans
always.
Always.
Just not quite good enough.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, to me, Neil, it comes back to that which we were just talking about, and it's a quarterback play. And I always sat back, and I was one of those guys, I'm not going to lie to you, I was one of those guys that always, like, even going back to the day, like where we're going, I was one of those guys, man, look out for the Titans. This is a pretty good team. You know, they're kind of doing it the old-fashioned way. But you're not going to win championships with Kerry Collins. You're not. Sorry.
Right.
It's not happening, Sam Darnold. You're not going to win.
Now, wait a minute.
You're not going to win.
Wait a minute.
Listen, Viking fans, you guys need to listen to me, okay? I got your back in a certain regard. I do. I think you're better than people are giving you credit for.
No,
you're
they're not.
Probably a playoff team, okay?
Yeah, maybe.
You aren't winning dick, D-I-C-K, not D-I-P. You're not winning dick with Sam Darnold as your quarterback. You know that. You can get mad at me. You can get mad at Neil.
Oh, they do.
They're not winning dip either.
You're not winning dip. You're not winning dip either. Like a cute little story. Congratulations. Let's see what happens when, JJ comes back and you might be dangerous and cute. I give you your flowers for having the best receiver in football, and I mean that. But deep down inside, you're not winning anything with that guy at the helm. You know it. I know it. And if you get angry at me, that is what I refer to as misguided anger. You're not angry at me. You're angry at Sam Darnold. That's what's happening. And I look at the Titans all those years, because doesn't it always seem they can run the ball and run the ball very well, right? It always, whether it be Derrick Henry or
good
a couple
defense.
names that we're not going to mention, good defense, but quarterback play. And I think that's kind of been their problem, really, forever, right?
You know what's weird? They'd be better off right now with Ryan Tannehill. As weird as that sounds, because Ryan Tannehill is at least productive.
No. Will Levis is good. I got the DMs.
Are you sure?
We screenshot. We ran one on the show.
I do remember that. You did, yeah.
You know, I've got the receipts to it. I was told Will Levis is good, and I will still go back, Sean. I will still go back. I did my due diligence. I believe it was Michigan State 2 years ago that night. That was the same night where Will Levis played Anthony Richardson. And I was told, you have to watch this game. You have to watch the future of the NFL. And I did, and I walked away going, did I pass out during the game? Like, I know I was getting in the single barrel proof that night. Maybe it's on me. Maybe I made a mistake. And this is what their franchise hinges on right now is Will Levis, Mason Rudolph. Like, you don't have to go far to break down franchises in the NFL and why they're not good.
Yeah.
You don't have to go far.
No, you
Usually
really
you can go right to the quarterback spot. And still, I contend this, Sean. This is a different topic for a different day. But I still contend this. And you'll see it. Like, if, God forbid, Jared Goff throws an interception again this season, you'll see it where, like, the people kind of tweak out a little bit. The Detroit Lions are good, and the Tennessee Titans stink because of the quarterback spot. Period, end of story.
I'm so glad, like, I hate using this term, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm so glad that we've evolved as football fans, okay?
It's an ongoing process.
It really, and it's not that long ago, Neil, that people yelled at guys like you and I for when people would say, it's still football, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and the defense wins championships. The NFL does not want that. They don't.
No.
Do you know what they want? Pretty numbers. They want pretty quarterbacks. They want all that eye-popping stuff. Now, that's not to say that a great defense can't still win a championship. But I don't think this is a situation where you're going to see Jeff Hostetler running out there and being the guy that goes and wins the Super Bowl. Right? It's not going to happen today. And if it does, this again comes back to there are always exceptions to most every rule, okay? And I refuse, and this is an epidemic in sports today, the people that take the small and try to make it speak for the large, okay? Because Nick Foles did it, okay? That does not mean that Sam Darnold is going to do it. That does not mean that Kerry Collins is going to do it or Mason Rudolph is going to do it. Yes, that is an exception to the rule, but more often than not, all right, it's going to be your quarterback play. And if you haven't learned that lesson yet, you're not paying attention in class, man. Pick it up. Come on. You're better than that.
No, absolutely. Woodward Sports chat thread, Dante151. Sean, are you going to pop some Zins during the Lions game like how Baker Mayfield was popping Zins during the Ravens-Buccaneers game?
I know. Isn't it funny? You know who really, I don't think he does a real good job of hiding it. Oh, look at you. DC.
Oh, my gosh. You got chicken wings here?
DC always has a good lipper in, doesn't he? You always say you're the best ever. DC always has a good lipper in, but now I go the old-fashioned route. I'm not allowed to pull it out, am I? Am I allowed to? Yeah, I go.
Do what you want.
I go the old-fashioned route.
Yeah, you are. The wings here, by the way, slap. Chicken. We're at second best. It is a Woodward Sports pregame show. They're a couple blocks away from LCA. They're right in the mix. I'm telling you guys this is the new pregame spot. And I'm just not talking about Lions. Red Wings, 2 blocks from here. Pistons, 2 blocks from here. It's the spot, everybody. This is in my rotation. This is where I'm going to go. It's a non-negotiable for every single pregame that we do. It is. It's phenomenal here at second best. Staff is second to none. They're incredible. Good people around here. James in the chat. Gotta love a good old skull troll. Oh, you do. They're cute. Sean, they're cute, aren't they? They're cute, man.
I prefer Kodiak, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Steve DeYoung. Neil, today is my son's first game since he was born on Tuesday. Wore my Boonham kids in the delivery room, and I'm wearing it for the first game. Can we pin that? Can we pin that to the top?
Congratulations, Dad. That's awesome.
He wore a Boonham kid shirt to the birth of his kids.
I'd boo the hell out of them. I'd boo the hell out of them kids.
Steve DeYoung, if you have a photo of you holding your newborn son in a Boo Them Kids shirt. Can you please send that to me on social media?
Wrapped in a swaddling Boo Them Kids.
Swaddling, yeah.
We need
Holding
to
him
run
like
that.
a babe.
Woodward Sports, a social team. I know some of you are watching. If we get that photo, we need to run that photo.
Please?
Please.
Yeah.
Swaddling
Even when,
clothes.
hey, if you're going to be consistent and you're going to be in Detroit and you're going to be booing kids, like we were told we do.
Well, that's what we do.
That's what we do here. No doubt about it. That is elite. All right, let's do this in. Let's take the first break. When we come back, we'll spin around the NFC North. We'll get to the people's thoughts in the chat, as we always do. Dante 151, Steve, that deserves a standing ovation. That is elite. Steve, please.
Proud of you.
Please, at Neil Rule on X, Twitter, whatever you call it, Instagram, whatever, please get that to me. We need to run that. We absolutely do. What break do we have, everybody? Where are we going? Sabbath Coffee Roasters. All right, yeah, everybody. Sabbath Coffee Roasters, proud sponsor here of the Woodward Sports pregame show. They're over there in Clawson on East 14 Mile Road. If you're on your way down, grab. Oh, Sean, hold on, man. Come on, bro.
I thought I'd catch him.
Yeah, you catch me
He's
slipping.
busy, so I.
But yeah, Sabbath Coffee Roasters in Clawson, East 14 Mile Road. If you're getting your Sunday going, say you're going to slide down and get downtown. Make that your first stop. Stop over there. Coffee's phenomenal. Had some already this morning, as a matter of fact. They brought it out here. They hooked it up. Their canned coffee, choice, everybody. If you need a little pick-me-up, I'll just say it like that. But Sabbath Coffee Roasters has it together, man. They're as good as any of your favorite chains or anything like that, and they're local as well, locally owned. Sabbath Coffee Roasters, proud sponsor of the Woodward Sports pregame show.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward Sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward Sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
What's up, everybody? Woodward Sports doing football game days better than anyone. And, of course, the Lions Watch Party. That's live over at Hayes Social. East Side over there in Shelby Township. Great spot, by the way, Hayes Social. Pull up, as a matter of fact. But you guys, hey, Spencer, easy. You know what that entails, everybody. Let me just say it like that. So that is it. Get on over there. Check it out if you want to. If you're looking for something to do for the game, you're over there on the east side. Maybe you don't have tickets. Pull on up, man. Woodward Sports, we're doing football better than anybody. See you at Hayes Social. All right, everybody, back at it. We're live at Second Best, 42 Watson Street. Crowd starting to trickle in. They're getting things going, and you know what I mean when I say that. The New Holland Brewing Company, Woodward Sports pregame show. Neil Rule, Sean Belizean, brought to you by Sabbath Coffee Roasters and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. We've got our New Holland Tallers. We have some of the best wings in the wing game here at Second Best. I was not familiar with their game on the wings.
No, and you
I
know
have to
what?
apologize.
I'm a rub guy. I'm a rub guy as opposed to, the sauce. I mean, I'll eat the sauce. Don't get me wrong. But you give me a good rub. There's a unique rub on there, and they didn't overdo it. Damn solid wings.
Damn solid wings, as a matter of fact. Shout out to Dom Rivera in the chat, pulled up. It's got Silas and Sully, their kids, for their first game.
Way to
so
go.
Shout out Dom Rivera.
The best. Enjoy it.
No, absolutely. Silas and Sullivan as well. So have a good time out there, everybody.
Okay.
Cheese curds, yeah.
Cheese curds.
Oh, no. I don't want to do any cheese curds. All right, we're off and running here, though. Double G21, did anyone check on Spenny today? Do we have comms with Spencer? Is Spencer okay?
We do not have an update on Spencer yet, but we should probably.
I have a tendency of talking
text.
to Spenny after some Michigan State games. Like, we were texting each other after the Iowa game last weekend when I was over in Europe. I didn't hear from him last night, and I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
I hope Spenny's okay. I hope Spenny's okay.
12:13 a.m. was the last confirmed contact we have with Spencer Raxter.
Much love, Spenny.
Real quick,
I'm feeling your pain.
What was your take on the game last night?
Two bad teams.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little tired of something that I refer to as the Childs cult. And can I explain that to you? As a Michigan State fan, both things can be true. He's young. He's dangerous. He showed wonderful moments. Okay, that's over here. But why so many people have an issue with saying his decision-making is iffy.
And he's a turnover
He
factory?
turns over the ball way too much, and his feel of the pocket scares the shit out of me. And I should say his lack of feel for the pocket scares the shit out of me.
I agree.
And it's really weird because when people say, and it's like, I'm not writing the kid off. I'm not saying that he's not going to be everything he's supposed to be.
But he's not that now. And
But
that's
he's
fair.
not that right now.
And it's fair.
And at what point in time do we say, are you worried? Right? I mean, you should be worried. That was a game Michigan State should have won, and they didn't win.
You know what's funny about the game last night? Here was kind of my take. And we're not going to spend a ton of time because this is the Lions pregame show, obviously. We're not going to spend a ton of time with it. But I thought that State had Michigan's identity just pounding the rock. And in big spots, they decided to get cute with the play calling. And I didn't understand why. And they did it repeatedly throughout the first half. They did it repeatedly, and I didn't get it. And when did Michigan find their best success? Alex Orji was their best, has been, will be, going forward, is right now their best quarterback option. And, Sean, the reason you do it is you just go be what Michigan fans say they hate. You go be a service academy. And that's what you do.
Well, and at the end of the day, too, you have to give the coaching staff credit for getting cute there in the third quarter. They really threw Michigan State off kilter.
Yeah.
And, late in the second quarter, obviously, the 10 points kind of fixed that game. But coming out, I thought that drive out of halftime was huge for Michigan. It was absolutely huge. And the way they did it, they understand what they have, and they played, imagine this, a coach playing to what he has at his disposal strengths. And I thought that was the difference in the game. And, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Michigan. I don't care what anybody says. That game, the culmination of Hate Week, still matters. I don't care if they're two less thans. I don't care if one's great and the other isn't.
I was happy to see it. To some degree, Sean, this is going to sound weird. I was happy to see it. I was happy to see it. It took a minute to get the engines fired up. Friday was an absolute meltdown on Big D Energy. If you're a Michigan State fan, you need to go back and watch Friday's show, the first half hour of it. People, like the insecurities of Michigan fans boiled over, the insecurity as a Michigan State fan, because there's no masking that. That is pure insecurity that's boiling over. So, I didn't want to spend a ton of time on it. Just wanted to get the thoughts out there. The playoff's still alive for the Michigan Wolverines.
Stop it.
9-3. Sean, no. Can I run a scenario by you? I'll ride off on this. They beat Oregon. They beat Ohio State. They went out. They're going to the playoff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to hear you say yeah. I just wanted to hear, because it's still out there.
By the way, beat Indiana, too.
Yes. Well, yeah. Beat Indiana.
Who's legitimate? Can we give them credit? They're legitimate. I'm not saying win a national championship legitimate, but he's done a good job there.
If Indiana beats Michigan, they're going to the playoff.
Coach Sig has done a good job, man. Give him his flowers.
Yeah. If they beat Michigan, they are going to the playoff.
Yeah. They're incredible.
They're going to be protected by not having to play in the Big Ten championship.
Well, and you know what? A lot of that comes back to what did we talk about at the beginning of the year? Look at so many teams out there with a less than schedule. Penn State. Look at Penn State's schedule.
Sean, this is one of my favorite.
Know my feeling.
This is one
you
of
know
my,
my feeling on Penn State.
No, Sean, you're right. This is one of my favorite weeks of the year. This is my Penn State's good week. Watch out.
Yeah.
I love it. This is like you can set your camp. This is like a harvest moon that the farmers go by. The farmers produce the crops based on the Penn State is good chatter.
Here's the problem, especially with their remaining schedule, okay? They could be playoff bound. And we all know, sorry, Penn State fan, we all know how fraudulent you are. We do. We get it, okay? But they could be a playoff team. Penn
no, 100% they will be.
Team. It's insane, man.
They're going to be 3 Big Ten teams. It's in the contract.
Guys,
don't get me started.
Guys, Penn State is going to, as usual.
But it won't matter. Pete, it won't matter.
Why?
Because they'll lose to Ohio State.
Yeah.
They won't have to play in the Big Ten championship game.
I agree.
And they'll be a one-loss team.
They're going to choke it away.
And
Always
they'll be
do.
in.
Yep.
No, it doesn't matter. They can lose this game, and it doesn't matter. See, now.
No, I mean, they're just going to choke the whole thing away.
No, but they'll be in the playoff. They will.
And
100%
choke that
they
away,
will.
too.
Sure, but it doesn't matter.
I hear.
We're getting into the business end of the playoff coming up, and I can't wait. I can't wait to break
really
all
am.
this
No,
down.
I'm serious.
I love this stuff.
You look me in the eye and tell me Ohio State and Penn State are the 3rd and 4th best teams in America, and I'll laugh in your face.
We talked about this a few weeks before the season started, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know the answers, but it was funny to me to see so many people get carried away, and some people on this very network, mind you, and start declaring that their team was going to be in, and at the end of the day, 4 or 5 Big Ten teams are going to get in. And it's like, man, the world doesn't revolve around this conference, and it hasn't for a long time. Like, there's a perception out there for a reason, right? Now, give them their flowers. They've got the national champion right now. But, Neil, at the end of the day, you know what? The Big 12 is probably going to find a way to sneak a couple in. The ACC is going to get 1 in. I don't think they're going to get 2 in. There's going to be the at-large. Whether you like it or not is inconsequential. There's going to be Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And then you've got
Miami,
the SEC and the big. And so here we are.
I know I'm getting deep in the woods, and we got to get back to the NFL. We got to talk about the NFC North, but I'll ride off on this, too. If Miami were smart, they'd dump the ACC championship game to Clemson so then they could get 2 in.
Sure.
So then they could get 2 in. You increase your payday. And I'm telling you, we're not far off from that happening. You got to make business decisions.
100%.
You have to. All right, in the chat, Berm, Sean will like this. Things are different because when I told my 6-year-old nephew the Lions are good now, he looked confused and asked, the Lions used to be bad? It was shocking to realize. Silas and Sullivan are here. They don't know that the Lions, they think this is how Lions football is.
Isn't it wonderful? Oh, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Dom, tell them they're living in the golden age right now.
Neil, that's the thing that we have to remember is these kids, you know what? All they know is the Lions being good. Because you know how it is. 2 years when you're a little kid seems like 20, right? So they've seen 2 years of the Lions being good. Dad, why do you walk around all nervous all day? You know, it's like looking at one of those trees and counting the O-rings or whatever. I've got all these rings of being beaten as a kid. But these kids today, God bless them. They've seen nothing but good things so far, and the best.
Tell them the old days of the blackout rule. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Never saw a Lions game.
It's incredible. People don't get it.
Sean, can I call an audible?
Yeah.
Because this is popping up in the chat. And I tell you, I let the fans program the show. People that watch, that have a vested interest in it, there seems to be something they want to talk about. Since there's not really a lot of juice with this game today, this is a great opportunity to do it. Silent service. If we can't get to the quarterback without blitzing today, maybe it will force Brad to make a move. Follow that up with James. If the Lions don't make a move for a pass rusher, this season's over anyway. You look at it without Hutch. We don't beat good teams, and no replacement so far is scary. Your thoughts?
I always go back to this, and this is my default, okay? Do you trust Brad Holmes?
Implicitly.
Okay. Has he given you any reason not to trust him? right? Now, I was a little disappointed last year when he didn't make the big move. I'm not going to lie. I was a little disappointed, and especially when I watched other teams make the move. Can we save these conversations until the trade deadline passes? That's all I'm asking. Neil, that's a fair thing. Can we call a timeout? If you answer the question as Neil did, and I don't know how you can answer otherwise, if you answer the question in the affirmative that you trust Brad Holmes, then can we, with that respect given, can we say, let's hold off on having this conversation until the trade deadline happens? If the move isn't made by the trade deadline, we're all going to be talking about it, okay? And for the record, I'm all in. I'm pushing my chips in. I'm serious. I'm all in. I don't give a shit about 2 first-round picks. When I hear people say that, Neil, I want to pull a hair out of my head. Because you know where Lions' brains are at right now, Lion fans' brains are at? We're still holding on to the past, okay? This isn't giving up number 11 in the draft. This isn't giving up number 15 in the draft. This is giving up number 30. This is giving up number 31. This is, God forbid, giving up number 32. Whoop-de-bleepin' do. I don't care. This isn't, oh my gosh, these lottery tickets. We don't need the lottery tickets. We've won the lottery in a certain regard, okay? This is one of the best teams in the National Football League. So based on that, Neil, I'm one of those guys. The window's open. Make your move. Push the chips in. Say, we don't give a crap about those first-round picks. You know what? Dare I say, we're in the position that the Rams were in 3 years ago. What they freaking do? What do we care? We're going to give up the 30 pick in the draft. Now, what they didn't know is they were going to fall flat on their face the next year, and that ended up being a high pick, as we know. I feel that way about the Lions right now. What the hell do I care about the number 30 pick in the draft right now? Do you? Do you? Does anybody? I don't give 2 shits. So, do you want 2 first-round picks? Okay, cool. Here's 2 first-round picks. Let's get a guy that you know immediately makes his team get better. So, can we wait until the trade deadline before the heavy breathing? Just ask yourself the question. Do you trust Brad Holmes? Okay, cool. Let's wait till the trade deadline.
All right, Sean, and you and I are headed for turbulence here.
All right.
There's a flip side to that coin. If Brad Holmes says, we're good, I'm going to ride this out, do you trust that too?
I'm going to run with it. I don't like it. And here, this is the beautiful thing. And you know what? I'm going to use Mark D'Antonio as an example. I love Mark D'Antonio. Mark D'Antonio completely changed the college program that I love. And still, quite frankly, doesn't get the respect he deserves around here. Shocking coming from Michigan fans. But with that being said, Neil, I wasn't lockstep in every decision he made. There were a lot of decisions that I disagreed with. Andrew Maxwell, Connor Cook. I disagreed with it. Quite frankly, I think it cost Michigan State a shot at a national championship, going back to that Notre Dame game. Just one man's thoughts. But with that being said, I can disagree with the guy, but still be all in. Does that make sense? I can disagree with the guy. You and I can disagree, but that's not going to change the fact that you're my boy, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the way that I look at it. I would disagree adamantly with Brad Holmes doing nothing. I cannot stress that enough. However, is that going to mean that I'm going to sit back and go, oh, there's no chance. Oh, it's over. I can't believe they blew it. I'm not going to sit there and do that because of what Brad Holmes has done. His credit line has afforded him the luxury in my book to say, all right, while I don't agree with it, I'm going to sit back and let this ride. Now, at the end of the season, if the Lions are bumped unceremoniously, gloves are off. All bets are off. Now, all of a sudden, we can question the unquestionable. You know what I mean? But no, absolutely. I'm with you. Would I agree with it? No, but I still trust Brad Holmes.
Trade deadline is Election Day on the 5th. That will be just after the Lions will have played at Green Bay. Say they are 7-1.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm happy.
Say they're 7-1.
Okay.
Say Brad doesn't make a move.
I'm upset. I'm not going to lie. Because the fact that they're 7-1 makes me say make a move. The fact that they're 7-1 makes me say make a move. Because you are the favorite.
See, I think that's an overreaction to an ultra small sample size.
I would have no problem hedging my bet Did I use that in its proper context?
You said that correctly, sir. Yes, sir.
A guy like Pete who sits there and he's on his phone all the time looking at the line changes. And we were talking about this before the show started. Pete is a guy that loves the in-game thing, right? Loves the in-game
I do too.
thing.
That's kind of my jam.
Okay, so you know what? During the course of the game, if you have multiple bets going on, don't you kind of say, I'm going to hedge my bet?
I trap the trap.
Right.
Right.
And then, to me, that's what I would say if the Lions, hey, we look good right now, okay? We have to win the NFC. I know we're in the driver's seat in the NFC, but we have to win the NFC. And you know what? We have to be at our absolute best. If we want to stop the Kansas City Chiefs from winning 3 Super Bowls in a row, becoming the first team to do it, oh, by the way, we have to be at our absolute best. We have to have a monster on that line that gets after that guy. To me, honestly, Neil, there's no price. I can't say that. But if the people that shiver over the prospect of giving up a first-round pick, guys, you'd have a point if this was pick 10. You'd have a point if this was pick 8. It's pick 30, 31, God forbid 32. I'm not worried about it. But yes, long-winded way to answer your question. Even at 7-1, I would still want to hedge my bet and say, go get that monster up front.
All right, is it fair to – because I do value the picks.
Okay.
I do, because those picks are why we are where we are right now. No other reason.
To that point, that's why I don't value those picks. Because he's shown that he can find value in the second and third and fourth round. He's shown incredible value. So I don't worry about it.
But at the same time, Sean, I'm not obtuse to it, right? If you're going to give me the one, whatever the one, the Myles Garrett, the Crosby, even though he's not going to be traded, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm talking about, to put it in hockey terms, I'm talking about the Jimmy Carson trade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where everyone's just going to, that's a way back, by the way. That's for Sean Belizean only. For me, I'm not obtuse. My line is 2. I will not go 3. I will not. That is my line. My line is 2. With that being said, I'm open to do it. But if he doesn't do it, I'm not going to have a meltdown. I'm not going to be like Cartier and says, we wasted last year and we'll waste this year if we don't get defensive end help. Because here's the deal, Sean. I look at this analytically. Aiden Hutchinson is gone. After this game, he's gone for a minimum of 10, a maximum of 14 games. And then he's back. All the doctors that we've talked to, Dr. Pierce comes on every weekend with the network. Every medical person you've heard said, it's clean, it'll be handled, everything will be okay. I am not in the business of overreacting to that. No. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you.
You know who I know is not in the business of overreacting to that? You know who. Brad Holmes is not.
Yep.
And so through all that, Sean, this cuts both ways for me. I will ride with him either way. Miguel in the chat says it's obvious you guys don't trust Brad Holmes. And Miguel, hey.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Because, Sean, if he doesn't make –
Context, please.
Well, Sean, here's where I think he's going with it and why I kind of vibe with the comment. If he doesn't make a move, you said you ride with him.
Yep.
You said that. All these people in the chat that say they ride with him, do you think that? Do you think if he doesn't make a move, if the trade deadline comes and goes, you think that the people are going to be in this chat going, well, I trust Brad Holmes? You know that's not the case.
Well, Miguel, what I would say, are you talking about them or are you talking about us? Because all I can do is tell you what my fucking mouth said, right? I'm not trying to be a jerk. I mean, do I want them to make a move? Absolutely. Do I trust Brad Holmes? How could you not? If you don't trust him, that's not a Brad Holmes problem. That's a you problem. But I'm going to say this again, okay? And this is what's different about the team from a decade ago. Neil, the team from a decade ago, remember 11-5 and lost down in Dallas? Those guys, almost to a man in that locker room, knew that their window was this wide. And now, those are not my words. Those are the words of people that were in their locker room. They knew that their window was about that wide. They knew if they didn't get it done in 2014, again, these are not my words. You're going to have to trust me, okay? And I'm never going to give up a source. They knew if they didn't get it in 2014, in all likelihood, it wasn't going to get done.
It was over.
Okay? Coincidentally, think about this. Play this to its logical conclusion. When did Calvin Johnson say he was done? After the 2015 season. But they knew that the window was this wide, okay? Because,
which is what necessitated the Eric Ebron pick. Kelvin told us that on this station. He told us that. He's like, we thought that was the missing piece to put us over the top.
You got it.
That's how close they thought they were.
Well, and to that point, and this was Martin Mayhew's greatest mistake, it was inconceivable to him that Ndamukong Suh was going to leave. He knew for a fact that Ndamukong Suh was going to stay, okay? And if you remember, he had no contingency plan. There was no contingency plan. The day after he went to Miami, they were literally caught with their pants down. But, Neil, getting back on point, and this is where I go to a guy like Miguel. Miguel.
He said he was talking about the chat, by the way.
Okay, then my apologies to you, my friend. I apologize. Yeah. But to the people out there that maybe the guys in the chat, I would sit back and say, oh, okay, well, you say you trust him, you don't trust him. Do you think that this year would be it? Do you think that this year is the window closed after this year? And I'm not saying that there isn't an urgency to win it, because again, consider the source. I'm a guy that says go pay the price. Go do what you need to do. We don't need to build much on this team anymore, right? We really don't.
Correct.
We don't need it. So what the hell do I care? I have a shitload of lumber in my backyard right now. I've done everything to my house. You want some lumber? Okay, well, if I give you a shitload of lumber, you know what? Can you get me one of those man cave, kitchenettes in my basement? That's when I want to make a trade or something like that. So I think the Lions are dealing from a position of luxury right now, and it's a great spot to be in.
No doubt. No doubt. What do you got,
guys?
Pete?
I just got to jump in here real quick. We do have a little bit of injury news.
Yes.
T. Higgins has not been officially downgraded to doubtful yet, but Kelsey Conway of the Inquirer there for the Bengals is reporting that his likelihood of playing is getting lower and lower. So looks like T. Higgins will not be playing today, but that's not official yet.
All right, so there's that. There's Pete Spivak, man. News you need to know because you're playing fantasy right now. You're thinking about it. Pete, you have carte blanche to just jump in when something happens, man, that you feel is important. You jump right in.
You guys were in the middle of a spectacular topic. This is kind of like
I mean, like the people are locked into this, and I didn't mean for this to happen.
Pete,
like I said,
jump in at 11:30 when those inactives. That's kind of become.
I was jumping in the second hour because I have to, but you guys were in the middle of a spectacular topic. I just couldn't. I couldn't interrupt.
That's the bewitching hour, man. 11:30 has become such an important time now. An hour and a half before the game, so we'll obviously let you know of the inactives.
In the chat, Easy, F them picks, and then Sean dropping bars. But Easy's the kind of person I'm talking about. If they don't make a move, he's going to pound the table and say, this is absurd, this is ridiculous. And there'll be a lot of Easys out there in the world. And all I say is, I do have blind faith. And when I say I have blind faith, like if we put it in the chat, JB, if we put, do you have blind faith in Brad Holmes? Can we do that as a matter of fact? I want to do a little experiment. Chat poll, do you have blind faith in Brad Holmes? I.e., if he did nothing. If he determined that he was going to do nothing.
I wouldn't like it. I have faith in him.
But would you ride with him?
Oh, 100%.
Then you're not the people I'm talking about.
Well, you know what it is? I think today there's a small segment, not everybody, but there's a small segment. It's almost like the cult-like thing. I obey whatever you say, fill in the blank general manager, whatever you say, coach, okay? It doesn't work that way. It's okay to disagree with the guy. And God forbid you're wrong, right? If you're wrong, that's good news.
Right.
That bodes well for your team.
There it is there. Let me see that.
But
he rides with Brad.
He rides
My
with
guy
Brad.
back there
that's
rides
what
with
I'm
Brad.
talking about. And I'm riding with Brad. That doesn't mean that I have to like every move he makes.
No, it does.
Oh. Well,
guys, the great Justin Fields has been added to the injury report from Monday Night Football, but who cares?
Oh,
Go
well,
on.
hey.
But who cares? Go on.
Mr. Unlimited will be there.
No, I mean, all
Did you see him throw screen passes directly into the ground? And did you see Chris Collinsworth? He threw a jump ball, and Collinsworth had the audacity to say, well, did you see the loft you put on it so Pickens could get it? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No. You're absolutely, it frightens me. All right, now I was going to say something, but I'm going to bite my tongue. But listen, Neil, all jokes aside, you can disagree with the decision, okay? As you watch a game, do you agree with every call that Dan Campbell makes?
I do.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I love Dan. Dan's perfect for this team. He was perfect to bring this culture back. I'm telling you right now, and Neil, you know this, people do not understand how bad this culture was. You don't get it. You think you know. You do, but you don't know.
Talk to any media member.
Honestly.
From 2000 on. Talk to any media member.
Listen,
talk to you. Talk to Terry Foster. Talk to anyone.
Just a few years ago, walking out of that stadium, this time of year, you felt like you were walking out of a morgue. You felt like you were walking out of a funeral home. The season was done. All the guys in the room knew the season was done. You cannot put a price tag on what Dan Campbell brings to the table. That doesn't mean that I'm going to sit there. I agree with Dan across the board. It's really odd to me. It's not an all or nothing type of situation. But again, to your point, ask me the follow-up question. Do you trust Dan Campbell? Yep.
JB. Come on, bro. Hey, just put a simple chat poll question up there. And do you have blind faith in Brad Holmes? One of the options is no. The other option is Stevie Wonder blind faith. Like, come on. Come on. You don't need to be extra like that. All right, I'm sorry I hijacked the show like that. We're going to come up to hour number 2. It's very compressed. We got a lot to get to. We got Sean Belesian's matchup to watch. We got Pete Spivak handling all your degenerate gambling, fantasy stuff. Also, Sean and I's best bet. We got to spin around the NFC North. We got a lot to get. Are you ready, Sean?
I love it. Hey, this is such a fun show. It's one of my favorite shows of the week, Neil. Let's go.
I do have Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles and Helen Keller blind faith, by the way. That pretty much runs a gamut of famous blind people, right?
I can't think of anybody else.
Okay. So
the opera singer guy, Bocelli.
Oh, Bocelli. Andrea Bocelli.
That guy, right?
Famous blind people in the chat.
Let's go.
313.
Throw them out there.
All right.
Throw them out there.
JB, what break am I going to? What's that? Who? Oh, Taller. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's empty. Because it's always empty when I'm doing Taller. That is correct. The Dutch long drink Taller from the New Holland Brewing Company. How does it work, Neil? Very simple. Local Michigan company over on the west side of the state. They take their small batch gin, they mix it with a grapefruit puree, and what happens? Magic happens in this can. This is my favorite drink in the drinking. I got some last night to watch Michigan State. I have some today to do the Lions pregame show here on Woodward Sports. Guys, seriously, if you're a seltzer person at all, Brady, thank you. If you're a seltzer person at all, this will change your life. I'm telling you guys. Taller, the Dutch long drink, New Holland Brewing Company. Hey, shout out to their bourbon, by the way. It's low-key. People don't realize it. New Holland's bourbon is on point, everybody. New Holland Brewing Company.
You ready? I'm not going in there, man. Stop being so scary. All our stuff might be in there. I'm not. Why you always got to be a hero, man? Take your go over there. I bet something bites you in the ass over there. I'm not going. No, I don't want to get bit in the ass.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Main, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Pregame Show live at Second Best Bar. And oh, by the way, Second Best Bar, just a couple blocks away from LCA. I have to apologize to Second Best Bar. I was not familiar with their wing game until today. Guys, if you're not coming here before Red Wings, Pistons, Tigers, Lions, concerts over at LCA, whatever concert flavor you have, whatever you're doing downtown, guys, this is the spot. This will be my exclusive home for every pregame that I ever go to. Pistons, Red Wings, all of it. The food here is phenomenal. The wings are incredible. The drinks are great. We're having a good time, man. This is fun.
If you're a dry rub fan, I promise you, you will love the flavor on those wings. I promise you.
All right, the Lions. Look, we've admitted there's not much to talk about here today. Lions, Titans. There's no X's and O's to get to. I'm not going to break down Mason Rudolph's tendencies. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's disingenuous. Plus, I don't care. These are the games you win. I don't need style points. Look, they can play like shit and kick a field goal at the end of the game to win, and that's good enough for me. For real. I'll digest. I'll say, hey, I wish we played better. But this is a pass-fail scenario for the Detroit Lions. That's when you're good. When you're a good student, that's what happens. It's all pass-fail. So with that being said, we're going to go around the NFC North in just a minute. We got Pete Spivak's degeneracy that we'll get to. Sean's matchup to watch. Just if you're a degenerate, Pete Spivak gets like in the weeds. You'll see. You'll see later.
Boys covered.
But anyway, all right. I'm getting off task here. We've kind of stumbled into this because the people want to talk about it. Adding the edge rusher, it's become the Don Kelly, Brandon Inge talking point here of the. No, Sean, it has. It don't wince. It has. It has. Nathan in the chat. Brad is the best drafter, not the best in free agency. Give me an example, Nathan. Give me an example of him, quote, not being good in free agency. Give me an example. Sean, give me an example. Someone give me an example.
You're talking to the wrong guy because you know what? The first-round pick in May of 2025 isn't going to help the 2024 Lions who are ready to ascend to the Super Bowl. So you're talking to the wrong guy. I have no problem throwing away number 31. None. Zero. Zilch. Is that okay? Oh, you want another one? Okay, here's two. But I have no problem doing it. But again, if Brad doesn't do that, Brad has earned being the key and operative word, not given, earned the opportunity to sit back and go, okay, I don't get it, but I'm all in. He's earned that. And I'm one of those guys, Neil. I'll go back. We were kind of touching on this in the last of the first hour. There are blind allegiance people. You could name Neil freaking Rule, the general manager of the Detroit Tigers. He is a Tiger. I will trust him. No, I'm sorry. I think trust is earned. Brad Holmes has earned that trust.
Byrne, David Montgomery, Amik Robertson, Carlton Davis, Alex Anzalone. Are they?
That's all right.
That's my.
That's
all right,
okay.
you know what? You
That's
wanted to get
okay.
me? You got me. That's my problem. That's stupid. That's stupid to say. That's a talking point to say. That's bullshit. That is not true. It's not. I'm sorry, man, and I'm not going to have it, Sean. I'm not.
Respect.
That is incorrect. The people in the chat just gave you the names. What do you base it? Like, based on what? He's not good in free agency. Based on what? Based on what evidence?
That's one of my favorite bits. You know that, Bow. Based on what? It's so easy to just spew things out there, and then you're going to have to give me more than that, okay? Back up what you said, because off the top of our head, we can do it conversely. So I get it. Okay, Neil, we're in uncharted waters right now.
And no one knows how to act still.
100%. Like, even last year, whether we want to admit it or not, okay, let's be adult. Are you ready? I'm probably going to piss some of you off. Did you really think the Lions were going to win the NFC last year? Did you really? Come on.
Well, Kendall Wildor.
Be honest with you. Don't be honest with me. Did you really think the Lions were going to win the NFC? Okay, let me take it a step further. Did you really think the Lions were going to win the Super Bowl last year? Come on, be honest. Come on.
Well, yeah, but we didn't make a move at the trade deadline. We didn't go get Chase Young, so they couldn't.
This year.
Because Brad doesn't do anything at the trade deadline.
Can I ask this question, and I'm going to use you since I can't talk to the people out there, okay?
All right, fair.
Do you think the Lions are the best team in the NFC?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Even, Sean, even now.
Yes. So do I.
Even
I
as
still
currently
do.
constructed,
I still
with and without who's on the team.
Now,
yes.
you know where my mind is, okay? And I know some people have been – I honestly think that Kansas City's going to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. And we're all going to have to vomit in February, and they're going to be the first team to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. My mind is now beyond the NFC, and it's a good place to be. And I'm thinking to myself, what would help the Detroit Lions actually stop Kansas City from the inevitability? And to me, I come back to getting that guy on the line and making Patrick Mahomes' life miserable. That's what I get back to. So that's where my mind's at right now. It's even a process for guys like me. But I think being the key and operative word, that everybody out there is going to answer the exact same way that you did.
Well, Sean,
the Lions are the best team in the NFC.
I'll back that up, and I'll say I think the Lions would beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. However, I don't think they would beat Baltimore. Is that fair? Because you know this sport, and that's probably going to get me in trouble with a lot of people in the chat. What is professional sports? Based on what? Matchups.
Yep.
It's a matchup-driven thing.
Oh, did he?
But you don't have to go through both of them.
Yeah, Lamar last year, that game, even you saying that causes the little, right?
But see, Sean, you see where I'm coming from with it. That's fair. Yeah. Is that fair? That's fair.
Yeah.
That's not crazy.
This is where I go back, though. I don't think it's going to happen because I think Baltimore's going to Baltimore and Kansas City's going to Kansas City. I really do. Like, at some point
that's
in time,
all the data we have at this point.
Yeah, that's all that we have. You have to prove it otherwise now, right? So we'll see. Boy, are these good. Did we mention how good these toddlers are?
Randall Smalls. Neil, can we STF you about pass rush when Wingo has 2 sacks today? They had 4 last week, right? Like, and when the game was coming down to the end, what play closed it out?
Right. Yeah.
Like, you can say, well, consistently during the course of the game. This league doesn't give a shit about consistently during the course of the game.
Do you know what I would counter that at? And I hope you know where I agree with you. It's impossible not to agree with a fact, okay? but really, but yet people do it every freaking day. All right, so with the hi, how are you? Your wings are great, by the way.
Elite.
Oh, so listen, Neil, it's the Minnesota Vikings. And I hate to say.
Oh, no, Sean.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
They're 5-0.
Go ahead.
Skull's in the chat
right
now watching
you. You know what? Like, honestly, in Skull or Kodiak or Copenhagen, listen, we have bigger fish to fry. It's cute. It's great. We're happy that we won in your place. I'm not trying to diminish a win. But right now, the Lions are at a bigger fish to fry type of situation, Neil, where – just winning a game like that. And quite frankly, let's be honest, just winning the NFC North isn't enough. It's great that I'm thinking of the top dogs, though. And sorry, Minnesota, you're not there yet. Not yet. Maybe you can change that before the end of the year. Maybe you can change that before the end of the year, but you're not there yet. So, yes, Neil, do you know where my mind is at? My mind is exactly where you said. My mind is thinking about the Baltimore Ravens. My mind in particular
that's exactly
is
where I
thinking
am.
about the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's all I'm thinking about.
Sorry, I'm looking past the season. I always say this all the time. Coaches get so mad when you don't play the one game at a time. And you know what my response to that is? Well, that's great for you. As a member of the media, I'm allowed to do that. I'm not telling you how to train your brain. Don't tell me how to train my brain. And certainly don't tell the fans how to train their brain. Yes, my prize is in February. There is no prize between now and February that could make me happy. Nothing. I'm serious, Neil. Nothing. The Lions could go 16-1 and win the division by 5 games. Who the hell cares? The Lions could win the first 2 playoff games.
That's fair.
Well, this time, not the first 2 because they'd have the bye. Okay, do you know what matters to me? Winning that NFC game and going to the Super Bowl. then I'll be happy. Only at that point in time will I be happy. But
and
I can only
this is
speak for
the
me.
other end of last year, right?
Yes.
The Tigers are about to live this right now. Coming up next year,
Isn't
they're
that
about
the
to
truth?
live this.
You're
you
right.
get one organic freebie.
Yep.
Last year was an organic
Yep.
freebie. This year, you either do it or you don't. It's as I said earlier, like today, is pass-fail.
It's pass-fail. You're right.
It's pass-fail.
Neil, that is a brilliant deduction because to me,
Thank you.
What made 2006 so magical?
Organic.
It was organic, and you knew damn well it was over. When that season ended and we all hung our heads, I think the thing that upset me the most is it was never going to be like that for many years. And as it turned out, it was 18 years. Why? Because expectations were in place. And even though they had a good team in 2007, you falter, everybody's going to go, what's wrong with the Tigers? They fell flat on their face the last month and a half in 2008, mailed it in. You were never going to have...
Recreate that.
Even when they finally, ran away and hid from the entire division in 2011, and they did. They went like 31-12 down the stretch or whatever. It wasn't the same.
Nope.
It wasn't the same.
It was what was supposed to happen.
I think that's a brilliant deduction.
Guys, real quick,
yes.
Tom Pelissaro has reported that T. Higgins is officially inactive.
So there you have that. We're just 15 minutes away from the inactives today. All right, I got to do a better job. We're getting off on a tangent here. Cartier says Emmanuel Mosley was a Brad mistake. He isn't Jesus. Oh, you know that $2 million that he gave Mosley on a dice roll? It was literally legit a dice roll. Brad Holmes will tell you that was a dice roll.
Dude, can I? All right, who is that?
Cartier in the chat.
Cartier is Cartier a Lions fan?
I don't know. I don't know.
Cartier, if you're a Lions, okay. Again, exception to the rule. Okay, I mean this is a problem in sports today. One day when we're like in the summer, Neil, if you and I are working together, can we have like problems with sports fans today? That is my biggest pet peeve. Is the exception to the rule. It is like literally it drives me out of my mind. Okay, that's fantastic. For every bad move you can say from Brad Holmes, I got 10 good ones. You want to play that game? You'll lose. I will destroy you. If you want to play that game, you bring up every bad move and I'll bring up every good move. You ready? You want to take that challenge? The spread's 58. And Pete Spivak just went all in.
All in, baby.
All in on the over.
He moved the line. It's up to 58.5
I
now.
will crush you. So you're absolutely right. He isn't Jesus. He isn't perfect. Nobody, not anybody here or in the chat said he's perfect. Do you trust him? I will say 19 times out of 20, he's been spot on. And I'm probably being disrespectful calling that a 95% clip, too.
In the chat, the JB Smooth chat poll, do you have blind faith in Brad Holmes? No, or, quote, Stevie Wonder blind faith. 82% of the people say Stevie Wonder blind faith. It's about what I thought it would be. 80-20-ish, right around there. But, yeah. So just sitting here chopping up. All right, let's take a spin around the NFC North real quick, Sean. As you check out the standings, the Lions are even money to win the division. I remember 2 weeks ago when I told you all at Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports, that Lions plus 175 was a gift when the Vikings were undefeated. You were there that day, if memory serves.
Yep.
Vikings 5-2, Packers 5-2, the Bears are 4-2. And as you take a look at what's going on around the division today, obviously the Lions playing the Titans. Also, the Packers are at Jacksonville. That's a game the Packers should win, but
that's their Titan matchup. It is. That's their Titan. If they, especially Jacksonville being overseas the last couple of weeks, if they don't win, shame on them. Packers
then
are legit.
I don't
Are
have
we
to
allowed
take
to
you
say
as
that?
seriously as I thought I should.
Are we allowed
right?
to say the Packers are legit? Are we allowed to say that?
Love leads the league in interception. All right, here's the deal. Are they legit, like regular season legit?
Yes.
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 But in the biggest moment, Jordan Love cost them that win at San Francisco last year. Cost them.
I'm not arguing that. No doubt. But
is it okay? Like, since you and I are in a give and take thing, like that's the way we work. We're like a married couple, I guess you could say. All right. So with that being said, Sean, yes, but their greatest strength is their greatest weakness, and in a moment of truth, I don't think they can get it done.
So let me compare this, since we're talking about the NFC. Let me compare this to the rest of the NFC. Bears or Packers? Who do you fear more?
Packers.
Okay. Vikings or Packers? Who do you fear more?
Packers.
That's exactly where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at. I still fear the Packers. I'm not going to lie, and we're going to go to one of those memories in a little bit that makes me go like this. Images of Thanksgiving Day last year make me twinge. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's fresh in my head. I'm not going to lie. We're not all healed yet. Our PTSD has not been healed.
Why does no one bring up the fact that they went to Lambeau and busted them in the mouth?
I don't, can I tell you why? Because deep down inside, I'm going to talk to you like Dr. Phil right now. Our inner child has been hurt so many times.
Oh, my God.
The bad man has hurt us so many times that deep down inside, we know we're better. But you're always waiting for the bad man to hurt us. And the bad man's not going to hurt you anymore. And I can say that over and over, but we need to actually live it.
The bad man moved to New York.
The bad man's in New York now.
Gone.
He's a bad man. But no, you know what I mean? And that's where we're at. But Neil, I think when it happens on that stage, in that moment, yeah, it does. Because we have this image in our mind, or at least I do. Thanksgiving Day is our game, right?
No, they're awful.
Jordan Love came in and made it his day. It was his coming out party, and it sucked, and I didn't like it. And I probably went doo-doo in my pants. But, I mean, honestly, that's where we were at.
No, you're absolutely right.
Hey, guys, just so you know, there is an underestimated kind of twist to this game today. The captain has arrived to the Lions. If you go to the Lions Twitter page, you'll see that the captain has arrived.
Oh,
Isaiah Thomas of the Lions rocking the Isaiah Thomas Pistons jersey.
That is
Shout
so
out
cool.
Zeke.
Yeah. Let it be known.
I'm getting Zeke on the show coming up pretty soon.
Are you really?
Yeah. And I'm setting it up. We're going to sit down long for him. And I want to clear the air with where he stands in the NBA, why he's slept on. We're going to get into it.
Do you know what I love about Zeke is honestly, he shoots straight, man. He doesn't give you the candy corn answer. He's not sitting there trying to make friends. He shoots straight. You know, a lot of times dudes kind of like, you can see it, you can watch it almost try to pick their words.
Zeke.
Not Zeke. He shoots straight. Like him or not, you have to respect that in my mind.
People forget, dude. Back-to-back champion, all-star game. I mean, he was a legitimate star in this league.
Toughest little man in the league.
Sean,
him or Allen Iverson. You give them
showed
all
up at the Silverdome with 85 people at a game with nothing and took that on his own to back-to-back championships in the greatest era in the history of NBA basketball. I will fight for Isaiah Thomas. Legit fight for him in the streets.
Everybody and their brother wants to talk about, and I don't argue it, Bird and Magic saved the NBA. I don't want to say, I think it's an overly dramatic to say save the NBA. I will say catapulted them to, unknown heights, all right?
Mainstream.
Yeah,
I
go back to the 1980 finals, and as a young kid who loved Michigan State, I wanted to watch Magic Johnson in the 1980 NBA finals. True story, guys. Neil, I know you know this. Do you know Game 6 was tape delayed?
Could you imagine?
The NBA Finals. A rookie from Michigan State starting at center because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is out. It was tape delayed. Think about that. And it's kind of funny, Neil, because to your point, people go from Magic and Bird to Jordan. And I will die saying Michael Jordan's the greatest I ever saw. I will. I'll die saying that. And it's almost like, oh, my goodness gracious. Well, who ended 2 dynasties and who caused one to be delayed? It was the Pistons. It was Isaiah Thomas.
He took a dead-end franchise. He took a city, put it on his back, exclusively on his back, and willed them to back-to-back championships, beat Bird, beat Magic, beat Jordan.
Can we have an Isaiah Thomas appreciation day? Can we call it the Isaiah Thomas?
When I get him on the show, that's what it's going to be. 100%. 100%.
I'll sit behind
100%.
you and Matt going, hey, Zeke. Yeah, much respect.
But yeah, so and that is it. The Bears, to round this thing out, the Bears playing at Washington. If the Bears want to show me something, go win that game.
Pete and I were talking about that. That was the game that I circled. Okay, and again, you guys consider the source. I'm not a gambler. I'm not. Okay, I used to be many, many years ago, but I'm not a gambler. So with that being said, the first thing that I said to Pete, I said, Pete, can you help me understand this? Why is that line only 1? And I know Jaden Daniels has been dinged up, but he's going to play. Help me understand that. Because I fear Washington the most. I really do. In the NFC, right now, today. Now, Frisco, we have to wait and see if they get healthy. We'll have that conversation when they get healthy. But right now, today, call me crazy, I fear Washington the most in the National Football Conference. Why? Because of what you said earlier, quarterback play. That guy's a freak. He's a freak. He can hurt you in a myriad of ways, man. And you got to remember, there isn't a lot around him, okay? So for him doing what he's doing with that team right now, I'm terrified of Washington. And I think, and again, this is why I don't bet.
And Vegas is erring on the side of caution for that game because of the fact that Jaden Daniels is not 100% that rib injury. Again, we talked about that, Sean. He takes one bad hit in that rib injury. You got Marcus Mariota coming in. Now, probably one of your better backups in the NFL, but still only a backup. So that's why I think Vegas is being very careful on that line.
I like Washington a lot in that game. Right? Now, Neil, let's be mature for just a second, okay?
Why start now?
But no, Neil.
I agree.
I think you and
Where's the Tullamore shot? Come on, let's go.
Let's get it.
I think you and I were on the exact same page about the Bears before the season started. So here's how I'll say it. Are the Bears better than I thought? Yes. Do I fear the Bears? No. Fair statement?
Yeah, I mean, the defense is still elite. I said that, though.
Okay.
You know, even if Caleb Williams was trash, they're still an 8-win football team, 7-8-win football team, and they win those ugly 4 o'clock games at Soldier Field, 17-16. You know the classic Bears game.
It's been for years,
For years. That's all it's ever been, So it's not – they're a little bit better, I guess you could say. But remember, too, we haven't gotten into the guts of the division. We're just starting the division stuff now.
You're right.
And when these teams all play each other, someone has to lose.
Right.
That's the way that it works, and that's why I think people are overvaluing it. They're overvaluing the Bears and the Packers and the Vikings and stuff like that. Because the weird thing about all this is, Sean, we going to see because they play each other.
Isn't that beautiful?
Twice.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's pretty simple.
Well, we already saw one. Shout out to my Viking friends out there. We already saw one and in your barn, so we look forward to seeing you again. But, yeah, right now the chirping honors go to the Detroit Lions. We went into your barn and we won the game, right? And so we'll see with Green Bay and Chicago. And this is where I go back to last year. I think a lot of us mistakenly thought we tamed the tiger, right? And we're gonna take care of business on Thanksgiving. And Jordan Love showed us that, okay, he might be the next quarterback. He's not there yet. I'm not ready to anoint him just yet. I know a lot of you Packer fans are. I'm not ready to anoint him the next Favre, the next Rodgers. But I see where people are coming from. You see a young quarterback. And you know what you get out of young quarterbacks? You get some of the glitz, and you get some of the stupidity.
And that really is it, man. Let's do this. Let's take the break. When we come back, we'll visit Pete Spivak. We'll take a look at Sean's matchup. Sean and I will give you an angle that we like in the NFL today, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook. Yeah, we're going to do all of it. The flashback. I can't wait for the flashback. Lions have never beaten this team.
Isn't that nuts?
They've never beaten the Tennessee Titans.
That's absolutely incredible.
They've never beaten the Tennessee Titans, huh? So,
breaks my heart.
That's it. Where are we at? What's
Neil,
that?
I think that's going to change today, by the way.
What is it? Talk. New Holland Brewing Company, taller. Go to Total Wine, get a pallet of it. I'm telling you, I'm not playing around with you guys. This is one of my favorite drinks in all the drink game. New Holland Brewing Company, local company in Michigan.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Main, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule for Woodward Sports Network. You guys know we do Lions game day, NFL game day. We do football better than anyone in this town. Better than the flagship station, better than any TV station that you're going to watch. That's what the numbers say. I'm just going by what I've seen and what I've been told. Starts with Woodward and Main, 8 to 9 a.m. Matt Broder becomes Matthew Broder on Sundays for some reason. I don't know why. But Terry Foster's always Terry Foster. So you can check in to that. Myself and some guy named Sean Belizean, not really familiar with his work. I hope his career works out for him. I'm sure it'll be okay. But we do it live at Second Best. Oh, look, that's where we are right now, Second Best Bar. And again, guys, Woodward Sports is doing it better than anyone. You never have to leave. We got the watch party coming up, the post-game show over at Hayes Social. Woodward Sports, everybody, the Football Kings.
No surprise, Will Levis officially inactive today. Mason Rudolph.
He's been inactive since the day he was drafted.
Those reindeer had a funny offensive line.
You know what's funny about all this? Do you guys remember what game were we here last for?
Was it Buccaneers game?
I think it was a Buccaneers game.
I think it was a Buccaneers game.
Remember we saw a smattering of the throwback Buck jerseys and all that. I
love the creamsicle. I do love the creamsicle.
I didn't see any Hardy Nickerson jerseys. That's kind of a strike against him, but whatever. We were here for the Rams game, right?
Yes.
We saw some Rams jerseys, and I didn't see any Flipper Andersons, but, you know, we saw some. But with all that being said, even in here at Second Best, you'll see like a couple. Are there any Titans fans left?
Yeah, I'm going to look.
Yeah.
Sean,
can you report? Report back. Are there any Titans fans in this room?
I don't see any. No, there's no Titan gear in here.
Not one.
There's not one in here. No. Yeah.
How about is there a Houston Oilers jersey? Haywood Jeffries.
That was a great jersey. Can we say that? Like the Earl Campbell, like I want an Earl Campbell tearaway where I would beg you, will you grab it and yank it and rip it off me so I feel like Earl Campbell?
Right.
I would lean
I
would lean Haywood Jeffries, but that's just me.
Okay. I could even go Dan Pastorini. I'm showing my age. I apologize.
No, why are you so old?
No, but all jokes aside, that was a money. The Love Ya Blue regime, that was a fun era. Another one of those teams that, man, their window was open for a few years, and their only problem was they lived in the same area code as the Pittsburgh Steelers. and they just could never get past the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, Neil, that's why I don't want to look at this Lion team 20 years from now and sit back and go, golly gee, was that fun. We just happen to play in the same era as Patrick Mahomes.
You got to get one.
I want to just load up. I don't give a shit what the cost is. Load up. Go buy this, defensive lineman. Go buy this defensive end. Do what you have to do.
The Anthony Zettel shirt over there is getting a lot of love, by the way, in the chat.
That's hysterical.
That's strong.
Hey, guys,
people respect you in the
that a
chat.
boy.
They love the Zettel
Look at
shirt.
that.
They love it. Yeah.
Oh, he's your cousin? No
there
kidding.
It is. All right.
Outstanding. Good
there
stuff.
It is.
Hey, guys, do you know
run.
who's going to be rooting for the Lions today? Speaking of the Houston Oilers, the University of Houston. Because last year, week 1, it was like week 1 and week 2, when they wore, Neil knows where I'm going with this, when they wore the jerseys, the Houston Oilers jerseys throwback, except for the helmet. They had like the UH on. The Tennessee Titans called them up like the next day or something like that and slapped the copyrights on them or trademark laws saying if you do that again, you're done. So the University of Houston today is definitely rooting for the Lions.
What an asshole franchise.
What a total asshole franchise.
Really, that's
total.
like you're just bad people.
What are you doing?
You're bad people.
Woodward Sports Chat there at Paul Thomas. Sorsdahl, Josh Paschal inactive.
Yeah.
So, hey, we let the people in the chat break news, too. I don't care who does it. 49ers, George Kittle expected to play. Deebo Samuel expected to play. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Juwan Jennings all out.
Tyreek Hill expected to play as well.
Tyreek Hill expected to play.
Yeah, the
That's,
inactives
per
are
Pete's
out.
Zay Flowers is going to play for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Travis Etienne is out. T. Higgins out. Mike Evans out. Alan Lazard out. Marlon Humphrey is out. Justin Simmons out. Will Levis out. L'Jarius Sneed is out.
All right. Pete, you ready to give us some degenerate stuff?
I can do that.
Let's take a spin, JB Smooth. That is right. Pete Spivak, everyone.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's elite.
Woo, what a Sunday.
Wait. Dazzle us, Pete. Come on. Get the fantasy team right. Get the bets right. What do you got?
What a Sunday we have planned for you. Get out your Caesars Sportsbook app right now and use the code word Woodward1000.
All lines courtesy of Woodward Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward
Absolutely, and
Sports.
I'm saying if you are new to the Caesars Sportsbook and you use that code word Woodward1000, you'll get your first bet back as a bonus bet if it loses up to $1,000. So please check out the Caesars Sportsbook app. My man JB, are we ready to go with the flex starts for the day? Again, these are the players I'm flex starting for the 1 and 4 o'clock games only. For the good, Rashad Bateman today, even though we just said that Zay Flowers is active, Zay Flowers is still nursing an ankle injury, and he's kind of a come-and-go player. I say Rashad Bateman today is going to have an uptick in play. I see Tim Patrick, Lions, baby. He's on the Caesars Sportsbook app, guys, 2.5 over on his catches, and I think it was 28.5 yards over today.
I'm on the Khalif Raymond train today, just for
Khalif Raymond
context.
might be good today. I didn't check on him. I'm just saying Tim Patrick definitely should be having a good day today. I usually throw these guys out as the no play today. You know what? Houston is honoring Andre Johnson today. They're going to be throwing the ball. Today is a day you're going to want to play the Colts receivers, either Mr. Pittman or Mr. Josh Downs. You're also going to want, for the great Neil Rule, play your Tank Dell today. I just mentioned they're going to be throwing the ball today.
Hey, do something, Tank Dell.
Tank Dell is going in
I heard about it all season long. It's time to do something.
Wait till he's healthy. Wait till he's healthy.
Nico Collins is out.
Yeah.
Wait till Tank Dell takes over the world. Do something, Tank Dell.
Get it done today,
it's
Tank.
Time.
I'm
Do
aggravated.
it for Neil, Tank. Do it for Neil. Guys, somebody who's now on the trade block, a lot of interest, Christian Kirk. Very good possession receiver. He'll see some work today, especially when they're behind trying to catch up. You can have Garrett Wilson. He'll be catching some balls today for the New York Jets if Mr. Rogers decides to throw his way. How's that beer tasting now?
He's got a mid-quarterback throwing.
Absolutely.
When can we say it? When can we say it?
It's like the line from Eminem. I put that out there. Just admit when it's at its end. You had a great run. He literally whether we want to admit it or not, he's one of the best quarterbacks you'll ever see.
Sure.
Right.
Whether
I
it's
hate
over.
him. I hate him, and I can give you that.
It's over.
It's
over.
been over.
Yeah, it's been over. You're right. It's over.
He's going to squeeze the rest of the juice
You are
out
a
with-
mid quarterback
over
now.
there.
That's a perfect way to say it.
Ramondre Stevens will definitely get some work today for New England. You got
He's still
Darnell
around,
Mooney.
huh? Ramondre Stevenson's still around.
He's the only one that's going to get work on New England today. I'll guarantee you that. Darnell Mooney for Atlanta today should see an uptick in his work. Keenan Allen, I hate to say it. I hate to use somebody for Chicago, but I think Caleb Williams will find Keenan Allen in the end zone today. And then Javonte Williams, running back for Denver, he's going to go back on track again today. He had a good day last week. He'll have a good day again this week. Now, for the guys that I would just caution you in playing. Actually, I don't caution you in this one. Do not play any Tampa Bay wide receivers for obvious reasons because there's no one to throw to.
Baker, Pete, this is
I'm
where
not
I'm
scared
getting off the
of
highway
Jesse
with
Palmer.
you. Baker Mayfield will make anyone great.
He'll make anyone great? Well, we'll find out today, Mr.
All right,
Neil
we'll
Rule.
see. We will see.
I would caution you of playing any running backs or receivers for the Las Vegas Raiders, as we all know. I also caution you on any Carolina wide receivers for obvious reasons. Any Charger wide receivers for obvious reasons today. I think J.K. Dobbins will have a spectacular day for the Chargers. I do caution you today on playing Alvin Kamara. I'm not saying
he just signed a mega extension.
Of course,
He's the man.
He's the man. But I know
great.
he's a starter on all your teams.
He's a bum.
He's a bum. I'm just letting you know today he's going to have a rough day. Just be prepared for Alvin Kamara to not have the Alvin Kamara numbers, even though he's a likely must-have starter. Tony Pollard, usually a guy that I have in the must-start flex positions because he's the only guy that Tennessee has. He ain't going to run against this Lions offense.
You know how I know that? Because nobody runs against them.
No, because nobody runs against the Lions defense, so you can forget Tony Pollard
I was told
today.
their defensive line's in disarray and they need to make a trade for 10 guys.
Yeah.
But yet and still, nobody runs against
Nobody
them. Sorry,
runs
Pete,
against
proceed.
him. No, you're the man, Neil, because you bring up those spectacular points. I do caution you today on Jonathan Taylor, the running back for the Colts, because they're going to be behind, way behind today. They'll be throwing the ball. Yes, sir.
Can I ask Sean Belizean a question on the Jonathan Taylor thing?
Yes.
I always hear about it. I see it occasionally. Jonathan Taylor, your thoughts?
He is what
Thank
he
you.
is. Right,
Exactly.
like, honestly, he is. At some point in time, you have to, okay, stop with the chat. You have to show
Thank
it,
you.
right? That's where we're at with the guy, aren't we?
For this I'm taking him third overall in the fantasy drafts and stuff like that, Sean. I'm asking the question.
You know what it is? It reminds me of what we had to endure like 20 years ago with the Reggie Bush shit. Reggie Bush is going to change the NFL.
Right.
He was a phenomenal college player. He was a piece in the NFL. Whether we want to admit it or not, he was a piece. I'm not dissing him, but he never became that guy, that everybody envisioned him becoming.
I have two more things to run over with you guys. No Arizona wide receivers today, and obviously no New England wide receivers today as well. And I do have a parlay whenever you're ready. But please
real
comment.
quick. You said Tyreek Hill is active today.
Tyreek Hill is active today.
Will today be the day that Tyreek Hill at least draws even in receiving touchdowns with Jared Goff since week 2 of the NFL season? Will today be the day?
Isn't that unbelievable? That's unbelievable, really.
Is today the day?
No. We'll have to wait till next week.
All right,
JP, I'm sorry. We'll wait till next week. You literally, you can celebrate next week, but I don't think today's the day.
We are into week number 8 of the NFL season?
Sir.
Insanity.
Week number 8.
Yes, sir.
Jared Goff has as many receiving touchdowns as Tyreek Hill?
That's insane.
That's correct.
It really is.
We are halfway through. We are more than halfway through the fantasy regular season.
That is correct.
Jared Goff has more receiving touchdowns, or the same amount of receiving touchdowns as Tyreek Hill, more than halfway through the fantasy season, everyone.
By the way, this reminds me of a line that I used to say those many years I did the fantasy show. If you're in one of those leagues that ends in the last week of the season, quit. Like, what
That's
are you
a dumb
doing?
league.
It's a really dumb league. Quit, or at least tell them, I'm not going to be in this league next year unless you end the season in week 17, as it were. Don't go to the end. It's dumb. You want to get me out of your league? Well, we go to the end of the regular season. Okay, well, fuck off. Like, I don't want anything to do with your league at that point in time.
All right,
Got you guys.
get us right, everybody.
Well, I'm going to get you guys right. Oh, I did forget Happy National Tight Ends Day. So there you go in the NFL.
No, you made that up.
No, it is. It really is.
No, I am
not
kidding.
Seriously. Seriously.
So we're in a life now. We're in a stratosphere. We're in a world where the NFL can just make up a holiday, Chase.
They were literally talking about it because Lord knows there are a lot of tight ends like Jake Butt that do broadcasts, and every tight end, like they're walking around sporting a Woody today.
Happy Greg Olsen Day.
Yeah,
who made that up?
I think it was Greg Olsen, wasn't it?
I don't know. I'm just joking around.
Yeah, like honestly,
what's more made up, National Tight Ends Day or Sweetest Day?
Sweetest Day.
Oh, Sweetest Day.
That has been the biggest fraud for years.
Sweetest Day for sure.
These ladies behind us would even. Sweetest Day's a fraud, right? Sweetest Day. Is it a fraud? Well, because they get things. Let's be honest. See, she didn't celebrate it. That's all I needed to hear.
Even my wife.
Now,
said
Valentine's Day, you know
legit.
what? I'm kissing your butts on Valentine's Day.
There you go,
Sweetest Day, I'm going to go, no. What is this? I'll get you your little Hallmark card, but I don't want anything to do with that.
Good stuff.
Fair.
There you go.
That's fair.
Respect.
Explained.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's always nice when you yank somebody into the show without them wanting to be in.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend's sitting over there going, dude, you're getting jacked as soon as you go to the break. So sorry, bro.
He was listening, taking notes. That's good stuff.
All right, what do we
guys,
got, Pete?
4-leg parlay from our friends at Caesars Sportsbook app. This 4-leg parlay is plus 750. We have, because now I expect the Lions to have some offense today. Now the Titans, I really would like to put some defensive bets in here today, but we're going to go this way. Tim Patrick, over 2.5 receptions.
Boy, you are big on Tim Patrick.
Definitely going to happen today. Also, on top of that, over 30.5 yards, 30.5 yards for Tim Patrick as well in receiving. That'll be the second part of your parlay. The third part of your parlay, I really think that the score today for the Lions, and I'll just give my score right now, I think it's going to be like a 27-6 game. So we're going to take the under in today's game. The under is 44.5 at our friends at Caesar Sportsbook. So take the under for today's game. And then the Lions are definitely going to be scoring a touchdown, many touchdowns at some point in time. Amon-Ra St. Brown will get in the end zone. He is the fourth leg of your parlay, again, plus 750 from our friends at Sportsbook. 2.5 receptions for Tim Patrick, over 30.5 yards for Tim Patrick. The under for the entire game is 44.5. We're going under that, and Amon-Ra to get in for a touchdown. Gentlemen?
I like your under a lot.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I really do.
And
I
would
like
love
your under a
if
lot.
I could throw in interceptions. I was not allowed to throw an interception for Mason Rudolph. That's definitely going to happen today. And I also think there's going to be a special teams touchdown today in this game.
Damn.
And also,
but you have all these touchdowns, but the under.
I know. But again, 27-6 is under 44.
Do you like the under? What is it, 44 you
three
said?
Scores. I said 27-6. That's 3 scores and 2 field goals.
And
44
it's 44, right?
44.5. 44.5.
What do you like?
Do the Lions get in the 30s at home more often than they don't?
Yes.
Okay. And how many points are the Titans
going
to score?
you're cutting it close.
You are cutting it close.
Okay, what's 35-6? What is 35-6?
Are the Lions going to shut them out?
No.
You're cutting it close.
I see. To me, though, I think this is a business-like day where you might see 3 or 4 Jake Bates field goals. Like, I can see it being that type. Okay, we got our couple touchdowns. You know, Dan's normally going to go for it, but since we're up 17-0, why don't we just kick the field goal, right? I can see it being a type of situation like that.
Sean, just when you reverse engineer it.
No, I understand. It's good logic. I'm not arguing with your logic.
So now we're talking about if all my scenarios that you say yes to, if they play out, it's a one-possession situation.
31-13, I still win.
Add up 35-6.
But I'm sweating, and I don't like to sweat. I'm past the age of
when you
sweating.
bet the under. That's part of gambling.
Oh, yeah.
You bet the under, you must sweat. Be prepared.
Because it's never under till it's over.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, we don't mess around here with
No, Pete.
Novice bets here.
I take the under.
Hey, bottom line, Pete's got you cash this year.
Yeah, I have.
Pete,
we
honestly,
have won a couple. We've won a couple of these parlays.
That's all. But when you're hitting
what
these
did we do
bombs,
all last week? All last week. Now our parlay didn't hit specifically because JMO, but you said on the show, "Oh, we're definitely going to get an interception thrown today." We know what we're talking about.
I made it a get right on the spot.
We know exactly what we're talking about.
I don't want to give too much. Like 26-13, 26-10, Some shit like that.
26.
We know these
Like
games.
seriously.
The old 4 field goals.
Yeah. Like at no point in this time. Do you know what? Okay, the Cardinals game. Remember when you and I were talking about the Cardinals game? At no point in time during that game did I sit back and go, "Oh."
They may lose.
Right.
But
Never.
it was always a one-score game.
Yeah, it was always, it was like, okay, cool. Oh, wow, we just made it 10. You know what I mean? I kind of have the same feeling about this game. Not maybe as close, but, oh, wow, we're up 17-3. Whatever will we do? We better kick a field goal. Like, seriously, I can see 3 or 4 field goals by Bates today.
Who's going to score for Tennessee? Tony Pollard is going to be neutralized. You obviously don't trust the quarterback, and the quarterback can't get the receiver the ball. So.
Hey, I got breaking news from Brady.
Yeah?
Josh Uche's a healthy scratch today. Bring him home.
Bring him home.
Let's go.
Bring him home.
It's time.
Is the deal being consummated? Bring him home. Was he pulled off? Was he pulled out of warm-ups?
It's Lion King. It is time.
Home, baby.
Like Rafiki sitting there.
Rooms.
It is time.
Bring him home.
That's funny. Good
Josh
stuff.
Uche, healthy scratch. I'm not saying it's something, but I'm not saying it's nothing.
Right.
Bring him home, baby.
That's outstanding.
Make the move.
What was that like?
Make the
I'm
move.
not saying it's
BNL, baby.
I'm saying it's nothing. But
I'm not saying it's something,
BNL. Make the move.
but I'm not saying it's nothing. Brady, thank you, sir.
That's so damn good. Yeah, of course I would. Thank you. I never thought you'd ask.
Sean, hey, when you
Ask
asked
Sean
that question,
that question.
Caesar
You just give
Sportsbook
it to
had that
him.
at minus 20,000.
I never thought you'd
Hey,
ask.
Sean,
don't
you want another
ask.
taller?
Yeah.
Yes, minus 20,000.
Okay.
No, 20-1.
I didn't want to ask him. You know, we're running towards the end of the show. Wait a second. Are you handing out free
Like
drinks?
Sean, it was such a heavy favorite, I wouldn't have bet on it because I would have just took my money and put it in a checking account that pays 4% over 6 months, and I had no chance of losing it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, these are pretty good.
Sean, can I ask you a question? That
Yes.
Skydog722 in the chat
Yes.
asked in all caps.
Yes.
After I give an answer.
Yes.
Neil, why are the Lions tight ends playing so bad this year? Skydog, I will back that up. Does the rushing game seem to be on point? Then they're not playing bad. Your
I feel
thoughts?
the same way.
Okay.
No, I think when they need it, they'll do it. You know, and I go back to, Neil, this goes back to some of the JMO conversations that we had with our boy Flano. If you're expecting him to put up 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns, you're going to be disappointed, okay? What I want out of this offense is for when called upon to be the stud that I know you can be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that doesn't mean it's going to happen every day. And that's a good problem to have.
Right.
That's a good problem to have.
There are so many mouths to feed. Someone was going to take a hit.
One day it might be Montgomery. The next day it might be Gibbs. The next day it might be Amon-Ra. Sam Laporta's day is coming. As Led Zeppelin said, your time is going
And
to
guess
come.
what?
We called that a couple shows ago,
Right,
too, remember?
right.
He scored
No,
a trick
yeah,
play.
you had that
you
one.
did. You nailed that
You know when
one.
it's going to happen? At Green Bay or home against Buffalo.
Sure.
In a big spot, in a big moment, it's going to happen, and you're going to say,
I'm not worried
There
about
it-
it.
Nor am I, at all.
This is what good teams do. Like it's you don't need to. I mean, think about some of the fantastic teams back in the day, right? You know, it wasn't like every year. Oh my gosh, Alvin Harper's got 1,500 yards, and Michael Irvin has 1,500 yards, and Jay Novacek has 500 yards, and Emmitt Smith has 1,800 yards. No, it doesn't work that way. There's dispersal. It's a nice problem to have right now for the Lions.
Sean, real quick, because we got to get to it. Sean's matchup. What are you watching the game for? What are you looking at?
I am going to go with the exact theme that you were talking about
Let's
10 minutes
go!
ago. Honestly, you stole my thunder, and I didn't react. This isn't about the Tennessee Titans
No.
today. It's you against you. And that's why I used the Rocky reference earlier. Take care of business today. You are an overwhelming favorite. Everybody, not just here in Detroit, but everybody like around the nation has talked about what an overwhelming favorite you are. Don't mess around. Don't screw around and find out. Just take care of business today. Go and do what you're supposed to do to an inferior and banged-up team. That's the way that I look at it, and that's
that
why
doesn't mean 47-7.
No,
24-0.
or 47-10, as it were.
Like we'll get there in a minute. Sean, they can play with their food for a little bit. Dare I say tied at halftime? Dare I say that?
26-6, 26-10. Like, that's where my mind's at right now. And that's why I said, again, I like Pete's under 23-10, where
I got 27-17.
Right, something like that. Yeah,
where
go win by 10
where
points.
Maybe
right?
the Titans cover,
like,
but
like
you're never a threat to lose.
Like they did against the Cardinals. I bring up
Bingo.
the Cardinal game again. It's just like, okay, cool. And this is unlike the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's not running on the field for the Titans today.
That's it.
You know, so take care of your business. It really is you against you. You've been in this position on the other side of the coin so many times. We've seen it too many times. Now you're on the right side of the coin. Just go out and take care of business. That's what I look at. Neil, I hate to be boring. I do. But Tennessee isn't good. So you know what good teams do to teams that aren't good? They just go out and beat them. Choke the life out of them.
And whatever that looks like.
Yeah, choke the life out of them. It's all good, right?
That's it.
These are all good.
These are all good, no doubt. JB, you ready to go to the Wayback Machine? Sean, I hate to do this one. And, all right, so what we do, we like to go back, right? We like to go back in time and take a look at a previous matchup between these two teams. And we talked about the fact that the Lions have never beaten the Titans. Ever. Never, ever, never, ever, ever, never. They never have. Let's go back to 2008, Sean. Thanksgiving Day. And let me paint a picture, too, when I go back to this. I go to the point where, remember, economically, things weren't going very well in the city around that time. Remember, the real estate market had just crashed and all that kind of stuff. And the Lions, we hadn't won a game. We were 0-11 at that point. And the Titans came into town. And it didn't go well. All right? It didn't go well, Sean. Let me take you back to Thanksgiving Day 2008. The Tennessee Titans, who were 10-1 coming in. My point, what do you got, Brady? Oh, all right. They were 10-1.
Kerry Collins.
Kerry Collins, baby.
Kerry fucking Collins.
Collins, who was 11 for 18 for 127 yards with no touchdowns in a game the Titans won 47-10.
By 37 points. Think about that. 37 points, 2008, the 0-16 year.
Chris Johnson had 16 carries for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Chris Johnson.
Lendell White had 23 carries for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He was 78 pounds overweight.
The Titans as a team ran for 292 yards. Dante Culpepper threw for 134 yards, a touchdown, and an interception.
Do you know what I remember? There was a sighting that game.
There was a sighting that game. Drew Henson came into the game.
The greatest Michigan quarterback of
forget.
all time.
Better than Tom Brady.
By a mile.
The Yankees draft pick, Drew Henson?
By a mile, he was better than Tom Brady.
Can I address the Drew Henson thing real quick?
I lived it. Go ahead.
Like Pete Spivak says that as like a negative, and I will flip that around and say he got $18 million from the Yankees.
No, I hear you.
Guaranteed. $18 million from the Yankees. And
then
circle back and got to the NFL.
And do you know 999 out of 1,000 Michigan fans wanted Drew Henson over Tom Brady? No matter what they say on this day. No matter what they say. Sorry, I have to say it because I lived it. 999 out of 1,000 fans wanted Drew Henson over Tom Brady.
Nobody knew.
Don't
who Tom
lie
Brady
to me.
was.
Don't lie to me. I lived it. I lived it every single day where people were disrespecting that Tom Brady guy. I don't know why Lloyd doesn't play Drew Henson all the time. I lived it.
Kay Harrison in the chat, I was there. Skydog, Sean, you and me both. Neil always shows the Lions at their worst. Show me the positive moment I'm supposed to show against the Titans in the Wayback Machine.
Do you know what hurts me about that one? Is the game before, and you were talking earlier about bringing kids to a game. My son and I went to the Tampa game 4 days earlier. And the Lions, we kind of got to that point in the season, if you guys remember, where you were looking at the schedule and you didn't want to verbalize it, but you knew, you were like, if they don't win this game or that game, they're probably going to go 0-16. There were two for me. There was the Tampa game before Thanksgiving, and then there was Minnesota at home, where I was
real quick, Randall Smalls. I did want Drew Henson. I'm not
Thank you for being honest. But and I remember calling that Minnesota game in the first week of December, the last gas. But we were at the Tampa game. This is a true story. Son, if you're watching, jump in the chat. And the Lions got up 17-0, and I was so excited because I wanted to. And my 9-year-old son looked at me and goes, "Dad, are you really doing this to yourself?" And he was right. The Lions ended up losing that game like 35-17. It was gross.
In the chat, Chinovirus. I wanted Drew over Brady because Drew could move around. Well, hey, that narrative stayed the same even with the Lions to this day.
Thank you for your honesty. Seriously, I mean that.
Sean, what do you got last minute of the show?
Workmanlike effort. I don't think it's going to be pretty. It doesn't have to be pretty. I'm going to stick with it, Neil. 26-10, 23-10, 23-13. Just beat an inferior team.
I got 27-17, but you're up 7-0, you're up 10-3, you're up 13-6, you're up 20-6, you're up 20-13. You know what? Like around that. Like it's never in doubt.
Like dangling the carrot and then just kind of pull it away. Yeah,
that's what I have on it. So for Pete Spivak, for JB Smoove, the most elite in the game. Shout out Brady. Shout out Chase here too.
Thanks,
as
fellas.
Well, and shout out Second Best, man.
What a great bar.
Great atmosphere.
Great
everything.
spot.
Big thanks to Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Big thanks to Sabbath Coffee Roasters as well. Big thanks to all of you. Don't forget the watch party coming up during the game. They're live at Hey Social. Tap into that. For Sean Belize, I'm Neil Roll. Thanks for tapping in. Woodward Sports pregame show.
Go
Second
Lions.
best bar, Detroit. Go Lions. Well, see you later.
You ready? I'm not going in there, man. Stop being so scary. All our stuff might be in there. I'm not. Why you always got to be a hero, man? Take your go over there. I bet something bites you.